Welcome to Retro Blocks. This channel is going to be totally dedicated to all things retro, and the first episode is going to include these books that you see behind me, and which are very close to my heart because some of them hold a lot of nostalgic memories for me. Right, now that the introduction is over, we're going to start with the books, and what you see here is my collection, and all the books are inside this box, my retro box, and I have about 12 books which I'm going to now pull out. And before I start anything, I have two assistants on either side, and this is Mr. J and this is another Mr. J. So we will start with the first book, and this is called King Ottokar's Scepter, and a very interesting book, I should say. And as you open up the book, you will find all the characters of the various adventures of Tintin on either side. The only difference between this and some of the other Tintin books is that this has only Tintin and the Thompson twins. Captain Haddock does not come into the picture until very much later in one of the later books. So these books, as you know, were first printed in French. And the first Tintin, I think Tintin comic strip came out in 1929. So Tintin is today, I think well over 90 years old now, right? And if you turn the book around, you will find some of the first adventures that were done in English, and of course,
that's Captain Haddock.
That's Captain Haddock, yeah. The only thing is now this, as you know, Tintin first came out in French now, so these are the English editions. These are the first editions, English editions that I have, and this is from my own collection. And this is a book that I had since I was a kid, so a very interesting book.
So how come they came out in English later?
Because when Tintin first came out, they were in French, and I don't think the English speaking public knew much about it. And because this was in the 50s when travel started, this was just after the Second World War.
Okay.
So once people started traveling, they came across these Tintin books. They were very interested in these books. Because when you take a look at the inside of the books, they appeal not just to kids, but I think even to adults. You can see from the style of the book, right? So because of that, and then they started printing these in English as well. These are the first, like I said, the first English editions. And here again, this is another adventure of Tintin called Tintin and the Shooting Star. So I will not talk much about the adventures here, because if I do that, what will happen is that you all will lose interest in reading them, because I think the best thing that can be done is to go through these books and then enjoy the books and the stories behind it. So I will just briefly cover the books that I have.
Can you still buy these?
The first editions cannot be bought because they're not, of course you can find them on eBay, but not as brand new copies, but there are new copies that have come out, and as collections and so forth and so on. But these are the first edition copies, so you can see they are worn out and all that. And these are some of the other books. This is called The Black Island, and if you turn the book around, you find some of the adventures that first came out. In the same way, there are a whole range of other books. You can see The Crab with the Golden Claws. This is where Captain Haddock is first introduced.
Okay.
And Tintin finds him as a boat captain. And this is actually where the series begins in a very interesting fashion, because I think with Captain Haddock in the picture makes the story much more interesting.
But he was only shown after the first editions of turned into English.
That's right. And of course, there are two-part storybooks as well. Now this is a case in point. It's called Tintin and the Secret of the Unicorn and Red Rackham's Treasure. It's a two-part series. So this is very interesting. And another two-part series was this one here, Destination Moon and Explorers on the Moon. And even today they are very interesting, especially because of this recent travel into space by
Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos.
That's right. So this is really interesting. And if you take a look at the inside of the book, Hergé was well known as not only as a storyteller but as an artist. You can see the drawings and all these things, fantastic. So this is the other set of series. This book is, to me, the most boring of all Tintin books because the adventure is not very interesting. It simply deals with this opera singer losing her jewels and then Tintin discovering them again. So not a very interesting book, right? So
not much adventure.
No, not at all. These two books are actually very interesting because these are film books. These are first done in French and they have real actors in them. The only difference between these books and the normal Tintin books is that when you open them up, you find that they are not in cartoon form. They have images both in black and white and color of the real movies that were done in French.
The actual actors.
Actually, that's right. This film came out in 1965 and this I think in 1967. And out of the two, this is the rarest. Even today, I think it's a bit difficult coming across them, or even on eBay or I think Amazon. And if you do come across the books, I would suggest that you grab them because the price is increasing, and you'll be hard pressed to find a copy even for say $400. So it's a very rare book. But however, as a adult, you will find it interesting, but not as a child. But interesting for you all to read. So to me, out of all my books, this is the most valuable. Although a lot of kids might not find it interesting. And when you turn the book around, you find some of the other actors of the book. And of course, as usual, it lists out some of the other stories that are there.
What's the reading order you're supposed to go with? Is it
Nothing. Nothing in particular. I would suggest that you just buy any Tintin book and read it because it's very interesting. Because unlike today's story books and unlike today's comics, these go back in time to a period when things were much more calmer, I think. So a very interesting range of books to read. So anyway, this is my entire collection, and thank you to both my assistants on either side, and I hope they will find it interesting, as would all my viewers who are now in that journey with me. And if you like this video, please subscribe, and your comments will be much appreciated. So thank you very much, and then hopefully we will have another episode in the near future which will deal again with some retro product, maybe some toys, or maybe even radios, pocket radios, or even video games.